Hey folks, this is Rhykker with a gaming news wrap-up video where we discuss the happenings of the week. This week's topics include debunking the Diablo 4 Rapture leak, a series of Path of Exile teasers for the coming league, the upcoming Overwatch Anniversary event, and more. As always, discussion timestamps can be found in the video description. Feel free to check out last week's episode and make sure to ring the sub-notification bell to be alerted of new Saturday episodes. We'll kick things off with some really brief news for Deus Ex fans. Eidos Montreal boss David Anfonsi recently had a few interviews, and in them he spoke about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, he spoke about Deus Ex, and he also spoke about the secret Avengers game that Eidos Montreal is working on. In one of those interviews, Anfonsi said, quote, "Deus Ex is not dead. I can confirm that." If you're looking for more details on things that were discussed in the interviews, I'll drop the links to them in the video description. On to some less bright news for a lot of Blizzard fans and a lot of Call of Duty fans as well. Now, some of you may have noticed that something has appeared in your Battle.net launcher. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Yes, it seems that Destiny 2 being brought to the Battle.net launcher was just to pave way for an eventual Call of Duty title. A move that initially upset some Blizzard fans when they saw Destiny 2 appear, but Destiny 2 sort of seems to be more in Blizzard's wheelhouse than something like Call of Duty. And now that Call of Duty has appeared, obviously digital distribution is huge these days, and it's an ever-growing market. And Activision has historically sold Call of Duty through Steam, but that means that Steam, Valve, is getting a cut of the proceeds, so why not get 100% of proceeds by using your own launcher, i.e. the Blizzard launcher, formerly known as Battle.net and currently reknown as Battle.net, and now we can understand the real reason why it went from the Blizzard launcher back to the Battle.net launcher, because if you're selling Activision games, then you can't just call it the Blizzard launcher. Now, other Black Ops news was the release of the multiplayer trailer, which has not been very well received by fans of the game. A lot of people are saying that it basically just looks like Black Ops 3. Then there was also the announcement of a Battle Royale mode coming with Black Ops 4. A lot of people are upset, and I turn the question to you. I'm not a Call of Duty player, but those of you who are, what are your thoughts on Black Ops 4? And those of you who are just Blizzard fans, what are your thoughts on having a Call of Duty game now in the Battle.net launcher? Continuing with our roller coaster of news this week, some good news is that upcoming action RPG last Epoch has successfully finished its Kickstarter. In total, over $255,000 were raised. Their funding goal was $210,000, so well done there. If you want to see some gameplay and analysis of this upcoming game, I have a video on that you can check out. On to some World of Warcraft news. Last week we spoke about Baal or Baal, the goat pet that may or may not be related to Diablo. More and more pets are being data mined. We have this pet here, this Frost Shard Infernal, that was data mined by Wowhead, and you can acquire this pet as a reward for collecting 350 mounts. Another data mined model by Wowhead as a reward for collecting 1,000 unique pets. 1,000! You can get Hearthy, which seems to be some form of Hearthstone elemental. Now, this is an obvious tie-in to the game Hearthstone, yet it's not part of some form of cross-promotional event. So now this leads us to wonder, can this Baal pet, this Baal pet, even if it is associated with Diablo, be not part of a cross-promotion? Let's wrap up the World of Warcraft news with some cool things in the world of WoW, World of Warcraft world. We have this fan animation machinima by IK Edit. It depicts that climactic moment when the Sword of Sargeras strikes the world. The storytelling in this cinematic is fantastic. Do check it out. And then I'd also like to point you to this video of former Mythbusters host Adam Savage receiving a package of basically a full suit of World of Warcraft armor, including sword and board. Not only is it cool to see the actual props, but just seeing Adam's reactions to everything. I was always a big Mythbusters fan, and you know how Adam can get. He's just exuberant. On to some Path of Exile news. Grinding Gear Games has started a teaser campaign leading up to the new league that'll be starting on June 1st, Incursion. Amongst the teasers include teasers of upcoming unique items, such as Coward's Chains and Coward's Legacy, the unique jewel Tempered Flesh, And perhaps most thematic of them all, tying in with that sort of ancient Mayan theme, we've got the slave driver's hand here, which mechanically seem very aimed towards trap builds, and there's a lot of trap skills being reworked for the coming league, so I do wonder if trap skills will be the flavor of the month for Incursion. They also teased some changes to corruption, new corruption outcomes, buffed corruption outcomes, and then they teased a whole bunch of updated 3D art. In other words, for a lot of the unique items, the 3D model doesn't match the 2D art. It's just sort of default appearance of the item, but they are updating a lot of those items to have 3D art that matches the 2D art, and it looks really good. I'm currently running a build that uses the Baron, and so I may be happy to see that I'm gonna get to see that item on my character now. Now, if you want more details on Incursion, on the Temple of Atsuatl, YouTuber Ziggy D got to visit the offices of GGG. He got a hands-on, and he's got a very in-depth, well-put-together video showcasing a lot of what to expect, explaining it very well, probably the best explanation of what's going on in this league. And if you're worried about spoilers, don't worry, there's no boss reveal in the video, so that will still remain a surprise, but if you want to understand the mechanics better, if you want to get a feel for it, Ziggy D makes amazing content. Do check him out, link in the video description. And lastly, for Path of Exile news, GGG has announced ExileCon. That's right, just like BlizzCon, GGG is having its own convention for its fans to celebrate Path of Exile. It'll take place in Auckland, New Zealand, which is where their offices are situated. They'll use that as an opportunity to announce Path of Exile 4.0, and as a date, they're looking at November 2019. Oh, wait a minute, 2019? No. No. Oh. And for the date of their first ExileCon, they're looking at November 2019. That's right, not 2018, so they're looking very far in the future. They want to give everyone enough advance notice. There's no price details yet. They're still very much in the preliminary planning phases. They want to get that out quite in advance in front of the community to start gauging interest. They want to keep costs as low as possible for fans because they recognize that a lot of people will be coming from elsewhere in the world, and the trip to New Zealand could be quite costly. But if you are interested in either attending or just getting more information, they have a sign-up sheet. I'll link that in the video description. Alright, on to some Diablo news. Diablo 3 Season 13 will be ending on June 3rd. Season 14 will be beginning on June 15th. This is a little later than we expected, and it almost seems specifically designed to dodge the start of the Path of Exile League, which begins on June 1st. Alright, now on to the big topic about Diablo 4 Rapture. I wasn't planning to discuss this, and I'm only covering it because people keep messaging me in different ways, tweeting me, etc., asking my thoughts on this leak. Basically what happened was a little while ago, a document, a Google Doc, was posted to Reddit purporting to be a list of things that would be shown at E3 in a month. At the bottom it states this is an internal document, do not share with anyone. And the list includes a lot of things, including Diablo 4 Rapture, World of Warcraft for PS4, and a number of other outlandish claims interspersed with things that make a lot of sense, mostly because we already know to expect them. Now, there's a ton of reasons to think that this is fake. Just based on looking at it, just based on some of the outlandish claims, just based on the fact that the entire document doesn't seem like an internal memo, but like something almost designed to be leaked, which is self-contradictory with a note at the bottom saying, don't share this with the public. But all that aside, the document claims that Borderlands 3 will be shown at E3. Gearbox Games has previously confirmed that there will be no Borderlands presence at E3, so they're either lying or this document is fake. And I further independently confirmed with a source at a different developer that is not Blizzard that another one of the items on that list is complete hokum, so that's 2 strikes against this document. In my opinion, this document is complete bogus, and it boggles my mind that so many journalistic outlets are picking it up and spreading around this story. Now, I'll clarify, it's not that I don't believe that Diablo 4 will come, I just believe that this specific leak is fake. It makes a lot more sense for Blizzard to announce Diablo 4 at BlizzCon, and it's not at all unrealistic to expect a reveal at either this year's BlizzCon or BlizzCon 2019. And let's lay down some dates to explain why that is a reasonable assumption. Now, this week marked Diablo 3's 6th anniversary. It was on May 15, 2012 that Diablo 3 first released. But let's go back. Let's go back in time all the way to Diablo 2's first release in the year 2000. Development of Diablo 3 began that same year. Yes, while they were also developing Lord of Destruction, which released in 2001, they were simultaneously also beginning preliminary work on Diablo 3. Blizzard doesn't release a game, wait several years, and then decide, yeah, maybe let's make a sequel. Now, the team working on Diablo 3 at the time was Blizzard North. Formerly known as Condor Games, they made Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, and they had a separate office from regular Blizzard. In 2005, Blizzard North, or what remained of it, because a lot of the talent actually left, was shut down by Blizzard. One of the key reasons being their development of Diablo 3. So once Blizzard North was shut down in 2005, there was a period of reassessment of the direction of Diablo 3, and Blizzard, taking it over, basically started from scratch. They effectively scrapped everything that Blizzard North had imagined, had made. You can look back, you can see the early screenshots of what Blizzard North's Diablo 3 looked like, and it is nothing at all like what it turned out to be. So a lot of people say, it took like 11 years to make Diablo 3. That's not entirely true, because they restarted in 2005. Then Diablo 3 was first announced in 2008. That's 4 years before the game released, and 3 years after they rebooted development. Then between the years 2004 and 2008, there were a ton of job postings that went up to join, quote, the team that designed Diablo and Diablo 2. Again, this was before the reveal of Diablo 3, and it was feeding a lot of speculation that Diablo 3 was in the works. Kind of like now, for years, we've had job postings going up for a Diablo project. Then in 2011, the beta for Diablo 3 started. In 2012, Diablo 3 released. And what's important to note is that while it did take 4 years from announcement to release, Blizzard, in more recent times, doesn't take that long of a time between announce and launch. Overwatch was revealed in 2014, it launched 2 years later, not 4, in 2016. Blizzard understands that the world moves a lot faster now, people aren't as patient. It was at Gamescom 2013 that Reaper of Souls was revealed and the expansion for Diablo 3 launched in 2014. So what can we glean from history? What can we try to guess for Diablo 4? Well, we can guess that production of Diablo 4, even early conceptualization, could have begun as early as 2012 when Diablo 3 released, or possibly as late as 2014 when Reaper of Souls launched. Now, Diablo 3 took 7 years of development. Again, we're counting from 2005 to 2012. So assuming a similar time frame of 7 years, a Diablo 4 launch in the year 2019 to 2021 is not unrealistic. And then expecting a reveal to happen about 2 years before launch would mean that we could reasonably expect BlizzCon 2018 or BlizzCon 2019 to be the year of the D4 reveal. Now, of course, this also assumes that development goes smoothly. A few Blizzard games have gone stuck in development hell, resulting in either the games being cancelled or being severely delayed, so we ultimately don't know what's going to happen. But what we do know is that it is not unreasonable to expect a new Diablo game within the next couple years. Speaking of those job postings, if we take a look at our updated job postings since last week, we see 2 new job postings, Environment Artist, Senior Rigging Artist, and 1 job posting has disappeared. Under the new grad roles, it would be Associate Software Engineer Online. And we'll finish off our Diablo news with something cool in the world of Overwatch, this Oriel cosplay by Dat_Jermia. On to some Overwatch news. The second Overwatch Anniversary event has been revealed. Here are the details that we've learned so far. The event will run from May 22nd to June 11th. We'll get a bunch of new cosmetics, including 8 new legendary skins, including this Captain Junk Sparrow, Venom Soldier 76, and Lightning Tracer, which has been met with, let's say, mixed reaction? Let me know your thoughts on this skin. There's just something off with the hair for me, and I think for a lot of people as well. I think it's something about how it shows her hairline, maybe, the goggles just being glued onto her face, whereas typically there'd be a strap. I don't know, if people make enough noise about it, Blizzard will change it. Other new cosmetics include 3 new epic skins, 3 new dance emotes, 1 for Brigitte, 1 for Doomfist, 1 for Moira, and then 36 other items. Now, one key thing here is that every single cosmetic, including the event-specific ones, will be available during the anniversary event. That includes Halloween skins. That includes Christmas skins. Non-denominational seasonal event skins. And as usual, just for logging on, during the event, you'll get 1 free legendary loot box. And the legendary loot box is guaranteed to have 1 legendary item in it. During the event, we'll also get a new deathmatch exclusive map named Petra. A competitive deathmatch season will take place, and all previous brawls will be made available. They're gonna rotate daily through the arcade. This includes Lucio Ball. Also, Overwatch will be free to play from May 25th through May 28th. Furthermore, an Overwatch Legendary Edition will be released digitally on May 22nd. It's going to include 15 total skins, and you can upgrade from the regular version of Overwatch to the Legendary Edition. The full anniversary reveal will be happening Saturday, i.e. today, not when I'm recording, but when you're watching. And you can probably expect it to be later on in the day today than when this video launches. And that's going to wrap up this week's video. As always, leave a comment with your thoughts on any and every story that we've covered. And if you have an idea for a story you'd like us to cover, head on over to the subreddit and post a link. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch and Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can pledge on Patreon, where we have a number of backer rewards, including monthly virtual hangouts, behind-the-scenes stuff, and more. We're trying to reach 300 Patreon supporters. Even a $1 pledge helps. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykkers Raiders for more gaming content.